Testing, testing, testing. All right.
One, two.
Hey, this is Andre Lamont with Muve Music, or MuveMagazine.com. We are here with Matt Lindsey, straight out of Las Vegas. I know we're calling people from Las Vegas, but he's from Oklahoma, right?
Depends on who you ask.
Oh, is that right?
Sure. I will proudly announce that I grew up in Oklahoma.
Right.
And I have tons of Oklahoma pride.
Definitely. Well, I mean, what do you got going on right now, bro? I mean, because I haven't really talked to you in a while. I've kind of been out of the loop, but what do you got going on right now?
Man, dude, life has just been slammed. I've been so crazy. Just got back from Australia, just got back from China. I was performing out there and doing some business and stuff, and just got back, and now I'm just kind of back in Las Vegas, getting ready for summer.
Right on.
Pools opening up, and I got working on a couple other business ventures, and just staying busy, man.
Right on, dude. Definitely. Now, you lived in Oklahoma City for, I like to say it was most of your life, right? Does it depend on who you ask?
No, yeah, I mean, I moved there I was born in Israel. A lot of people don't know that.
No, I didn't know that, actually. That's interesting.
And lived there until I was about 5, and then moved to Oklahoma, of all places on the earth.
Right.
When I was, going into elementary school. And I was there until a little bit after high school, and moved to Vegas in 2003-ish.
Right on. Dude,
So,
what took you to Vegas, though? I mean, I've got to ask, man, because, I mean, it seemed as though you were pretty invested and rooted in Oklahoma City at the time. But, I mean,
right.
I know that, life takes you in interesting directions, so...
Well, I think that had a big part of my mindset in moving. And I'll kind of give you a flashback into my thinking and when I really decided that I wanted to move. And that was when my company at the time was doing concerts, at the Ford Center.
Right.
Before it was Ford Center.
Mm-hmm.
The Ford Center, we were doing, events at Lloyd Noble down in Norman. And we were doing a concert series. And, I literally was working with about 150 staff. And we were expecting 9,000 people to show up at the show. 13,000 ended up showing up.
Oh, wow.
And, had a corporate office, had a radio show, all that kind of stuff. And, I was definitely very invested in the city and in my business and what I was doing there.
Mm-hmm.
But I just kind of saw myself hitting a glass ceiling at that point.
Right.
I mean, literally, I was walking around the arena looking at these, thousands of people that were there. And I was just like, there has to be something more than this. Like, I'm enjoying it. I appreciate the success that I've achieved and the people that have helped me to get there. But I just knew that there was something more.
Right on.
And so what better city to go to than Las Vegas?
Right. I mean,
it's the capital of the world.
Exactly, right? So since you felt that you did so much stuff in Oklahoma City, in Oklahoma for that matter, and you felt as though that there was more for you to do and more for you to invest in your life and in your career, what have you done in Vegas so far since you've been there for almost 10 years?
Yeah, I'm creeping on 10 years, man.
Mm-hmm.
Vegas has been such an amazing experience because I've learned and got to see and do and meet people that I would have never met in any other city. And that's a big reason because the city's just so it's a world stage.
Right.
From all over the world when I come here, and when they do, it's just an incredible opportunity for networking. So I've done some pretty random things. I was in film and television for a while, doing some production work. And I did that for about 2 years, first couple of years that I was out here.
Right.
And then I was a host, VIP host at Jet Nightclub, and I was a marketing director there as well. And I managed a big team of people in the marketing division. DJ'd for all kinds of crazy people. I've opened up for John Mayer, opened up for Britney Spears, Fall Out Boy.
Right on.
So it's been a great opportunity here. So
definitely. And so that bigger step that you've taken, you've got those opportunities in Vegas.
Exactly.
Right on.
And I don't think that I could have been able to do all the diverse things that I've done if I lived in Boise, Idaho.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I think ultimately when you say you reach that ceiling, that glass ceiling to where, you know what, I've done so much, how can I keep pushing further? That relocation would be, the most beneficial idea. I think that only means where you are now, you're gonna hit a glass ceiling, and then eventually you're like, well, do I need to move to Mars? Or I mean, you're gonna be. Well, I mean, just when you tackle everything in your life or everything that you have a passion about, what else is left? I mean, where else do you move on? I mean, I know that right now you've done some successful things. I mean, DJing with John Mayer, I love John Mayer, dude. So if I got to DJ for John Mayer, not only would I be starstruck, but I'd be like, okay, this is it. I'm done. I can quit DJ. I can die now.
And that's the beautiful thing about life, bro, is always striving for the unattainable and the passion that lies behind it.
Right.
It's not about reaching the point. Obviously, it's about enjoying the ride there.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. Yeah, I gotta agree.
You know what I mean? I don't necessarily want to arrive at any certain point. I'm enjoying life where it is now.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And I think once you feel as though you've arrived, that's when your creativity is completely stifled.
Exactly.
I think when it's almost like bands and artists in general, the first album always freaking awesome. I mean, it's natural. It's always awesome. But then after they've already arrived and they're on their fifth, it's not that good. They still have the same kind of style, but unfortunately, they don't have that strive, and they're not going on that journey anymore.
Sure.
So.
I mean, every day I wake up and I find inspiration in life. What doesn't matter if it's my personal life, my relationships, my business life. I always have to find something to inspire me for that day.
Right.
And that way I'm always motivated. I'm always striving for something bigger than myself. And I don't ever get bored. I don't ever get discouraged. And I don't ever, lose sight of what I'm doing and where I'm going.
I think a lot of people when they get into even the entertainment industry, they get so lost and caught up in the glitz and glamour of things that they no longer remember why they started. Like for instance, you more than likely started doing what you do in the music industry because you want to do it for other people. You said, hey, you know what? I see that this crowd is really enjoying themselves. I want to be that guy on stage playing for that crowd and playing what they want to hear. Ultimately, it is when people get involved in it, the idea of playing for someone else, they're started from it. They want to play for I, and it becomes about I. So ultimately, what you just told me is that your success was based on you basically having a philanthropic effort for everyone else. You were doing it for other people. So that's why your business grew. That's why Overtone got to a large level it was. That's why you relocated to Las Vegas, because ultimately you had touched so many lives in Oklahoma City. You said, man, I think I might have to go touch some more. I mean,
when you live your life that way, with a selfless heart,
right?
Life becomes so enjoyable. Just when you can bring joy to other people, it doesn't matter in whatever the medium is, but when you can bless somebody's life like that,
right,
on any level, it doesn't matter about you. You know what I mean? Because in a way, I can say that I'm selfish in a sense, because I get self-gratification by helping other people.
Right, totally. Well, I mean, yeah. But you wouldn't do it if you didn't, right?
Right.
Exactly. So it's funny because you can say I'm selfless and selfish, not self-centered at all, but selfish and selfless. Because
I'll let you think about that one for a bit.
All right. But to me, I mean, that's awesome, because I think when anyone matures in the things that we do, doing music, and because ultimately all music is just based upon emotion eventually. And so if you can actually set up an arena like you did, and I think I actually went to that show that you were talking about where there's like 1,000 some odd people there. When you can set up a arena like that, and you can cater to some music that actually are going to move these people and really get them invested in whatever you want to present to them. I think ultimately that's the moment where you say, okay, I'm actually kind of changing lives. I'm inspiring people to do things. I think when you inspire someone, ultimately you're setting a seed that's going to grow and they're going to change over time. And I don't know if you've ever talked to anyone that you hosted a show with in the past, or that you've seen at a show and they came up and like, dude, really good show. It's so, oh my god, it's so awesome. And you talked to them recently now, and and they still remember that show. And so if they still remember something that happened, over 10 years ago, that means you left an impression, and that impression inspired them to do so many things in their lives. And so to me, dude, that's super admirable. I think every day when you said you try to get inspired by something every day, that's what I do. And it's like, it's my inspiration is really, I get inspired by seeing people help people. I get inspired by helping people. And it's one of those things where, yeah, you're selfish because you're doing it for you, but you're helping someone else while you're doing it for you. So it's kind of funny. It's like, well, it's a weird kind of high that's, that's irreplaceable, so.
I agree. And kind of when I started my company, when people would ask me what I did or what Overtone did, I would always say I'm in the business of creating memories.
Right on. Dude, that's super deep, dude. Did you just get like Confucius on me?
No, but really, I mean, I was in the business of creating memories, and it was just all about the experience. I mean, from the second they walked in the door to even the atmosphere of the restroom. I mean, it was always so calculated and structured because I wanted them to be able to remember that moment in time in their life, because I don't know what's going on in their life. I've heard so many stories of how people have planned their engagements and proposed to their future wife or whatever at events that I've done.
Right
and
on.
It's like, when you hear that, it's like really, really cool. To be able to be a part of their life like that for forever. Like they might not ever know who I am. I may never know who they are, but the bottom line is, that moment was important enough for them to remember it for the rest of their life.
Exactly. Yeah. Totally. Yeah, that totally makes a difference, dude. Definitely. What do you got going on now? Are you still doing the Fight for Fame? I believe it is. Is that?
Yeah, we're still doing Fight for Fame, which is the national music competition, similar to American Idol, but obviously not quite so commercial or televised.
Yeah.
Making millions.
Hey, it's something, dude.
Yeah, but we're still doing it. We're not doing it quite at the scale that we were. We grew really, really fast in 2009, 2010. And we were literally in Chicago, New York, San Diego, LA, Dallas, Houston, Austin. We were all over the country, and it was just way too much to handle at the time. Like, our team couldn't handle it, and I mean, some people say that's a good problem to have, but it's not when you lose a little bit of quality control.
Exactly.
So now we're kind of scaling it back. We're focusing on what our core values and what our core mission was behind that, and we're kind of rolling it out in small stages. That way we don't get so overwhelmed. I mean, it was great. It was a great few years when we were doing all that, but it was pretty intense. Not sleeping, traveling all over the country.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, I mean, but still, you probably learned a lot from that experience. I mean, you look back and you say, well, hindsight's 2020, but this hindsight is going to allow me to have even better foresight. You're going to be able to gauge your endeavors a little better.
Exactly.
So, but Fight for Fame. I went to one of the shows. I was totally pleased with what I saw, man. It was awesome. Cool. I mean, we've got something like that going on here in small Oklahoma City. Okay. We have something like that going on now. We have like DJ battles and rappers of that nature, and ultimately it's the same concept, but it is a bit different. So, but now you're not really doing that much now. But what do you have going on right now? Like,
well, like I said, I just got back from Australia and China.
I gotta ask. I have to ask. What were you doing in Australia? And did you buy some Uggs? You didn't buy Uggs, did you?
No, why do I buy Uggs?
I don't know. Australia Uggs. I don't know.
Are they made there or something?
They're made. Do you not know what an UGG is?
I know what Uggs are. Released to Australia.
They're made in Australia. Wait, they might be tagged as they're made in Australia, but they're made in China.
I'm sure they're made in China.
They're probably more. Yeah, it's cheaper labor there. So I mean, what were you doing in Australia, in China?
I was in Australia. I was performing. and it was probably one of the most amazing performances of my life.
Right on.
Actually, shows of my life. It was just an incredible experience just to be there and to be living on the beach, and the people there are just so generous and nice, and man, I cannot wait to go back. So it was in Perth, Western Australia, and we've got quite a few. We've got some plans to do Melbourne, Sydney, and all the major cities there. So hopefully going to be back there by the end of the year, if not early next year. So I was there performing with this guy named James Doblisco. If you're watching this interview, go Google him. He's an incredibly talented guy. He and I both performed. I performed in his show, and then I did a 3-hour performance myself afterwards.
Did you say 3-hour performance?
Yeah, it was supposed to be 45 minutes.
Right.
But that wasn't happening.
Yeah, no. 3 hours, I'm just like, somebody save me, my ears are ringing.
We were having such a good time, man. I mean, like, seriously, it was 45 minutes, and when that expired, it was just like, I can't stop. I gotta keep going.
Right.
It was just, I'm telling you, man, I cannot explain just the experience and the people there and the vibe and energy. It was great. It seriously did remind me, not that I had forgotten why I do what I do, but it sure sincerely reminded me of why I'm a musician. And
yeah, definitely.
It was really great. And then China was a little bit different mission. I produce and manage a band that performs at the Venetian 6 nights a week there.
Right on.
And excuse me, we were up for our contract negotiation and went there and met with some of the executives at the Venetian and did the whole suit and tie thing and did all that kind of fun stuff and yeah.
Right on, dude. Definitely. Now 91 FM online. Yeah. Is it 91fmonline.com? Is that the address or?
It's 91online.com.
Okay, 91online.com.
Right now. 91online.com.
Do it now. Dude, so are you running this thing out of your house, or like, do you have a brick and mortar building, or like, because in all honesty, when I think about online radio stations, I think, okay, these are be running out of the house, but I've seen some online radio stations that are like massive productions, and you wouldn't even have guessed. But I know 91 FM when it was in Oklahoma City, dude. It was an extremely massive production. I think it touched a lot of lives too. In all honesty, it's nice that you're continuing that whole tradition. But I mean, are you the only disc jockey there, or is there others? Or
no, I'll answer your first question. As far as the operation, it's not being ran out of my house. Originally, when I'll give you a funny little backstory. I ended up coming to Oklahoma last summer. I drove there. I was planning on being there for 2 weeks. And while I was there, I met with Brandon Rabar, who was the program director and afternoon DJ at 91 FM before that whole thing happened with us getting bought out. And we casually just, we're talking about 91 FM, and, he had been getting a lot of emails. I'd been getting a lot of emails from our fans saying, hey, when are you coming back? We really miss you. We miss the station. We miss the music. We miss the DJs. What's going on? And we just kind of casually mentioned, hey, let's just do like a reunion podcast thing where we get a couple of DJs together in a room, play some music, talk about memories, maybe take a couple of calls, and then we put it up on YouTube, and or we do a podcast once a month or once a year or whatever. And then the vision just kind of grew from there. Like, well, why don't we do like a weekly show out of somebody's house, and then maybe it can grow into something bigger. A little more, solid. And then, within a matter of lunch, it grew into what it is now, which is a full 24-hour, full radio station.
Right on.
And, at first we kind of were laughing to ourselves. We're like, how do you start a radio station? We've all been in the radio industry. We've all worked in radio. But what are the legalities? What are the logistics of actually creating and starting a radio station?
Right. Sounds like you figured that out.
We did.
Definitely.
We literally, I left that lunch meeting and made a couple of phone calls, toured a couple of buildings in the Oklahoma City area, and literally found a building that had some space available. It was completely empty. There was no walls, no paint on the walls, no light fixtures, no nothing. So it was a really great opportunity for us to come in and completely design the station how we wanted it. So we, have the main studio, we have the production studio, we've got a front desk area for the reception and all that kind of stuff.
Right on.
And just built it all out. And then within 3 months, we were on air. We had the meeting in July, and we were on air on October 31st, which would have been our 25th year anniversary had we been on FM stuff.
Right.
So it was an incredible 3 months of literally just 20 minutes of sleep every night. I mean, because we had to, not only did we have to get thousands upon thousands of songs and music, we had to design our website, we had to, get our computer system, we had to figure out who our DJs were, we had to train them, we had to get our software, we had to get our business license, we had to do all of this. So my 2 week trip to Oklahoma ended up literally turning into a year and a half. I drove to Oklahoma in my car, so I'd have a vehicle to get around, and I took a little weekend bag.
Yeah.
Because I was planning on being there for 2 weeks. Had to fly home 2-3 times to get, winter clothes, summer clothes again. So it totally took me by surprise. Was not planning on being in Oklahoma for a year and a half, and and since we've been on air for since this October 31st of 2010.
Right on.
So here it is, March 18th, 2012. So
with that story, that story is just really inspiring for me. It's inspiring for me because you said you started out with an idea. Small idea of doing just a weekly thing, and then ultimately that weekly turned into a 24-hour production. You have building space for. You have a brand that you already worked for, and you recreated that brand for yourself. So for me, that's completely inspiring because I think that I can connect with you when you say the 20 minutes of sleep each night, because ultimately, it's like you get so many ideas. You're like, you know what? I can't go to sleep unless this idea is on paper or on the computer or it's drafted out, it's created. And then I can go ahead and rest for 30 minutes because I'll have another idea that gets me out of my sleep. And so, and I've been through that process on the project that I'm working on now, and just hearing the success you've had with yours and how it started off as just a conversation and turned into this monolithic ordeal. It's pretty inspiring to me. So.
Well, one thing that I want to say on that is, there are so many creative people who are too afraid to see their dreams and their ideas and their visions come to fruition. Mm-hmm. And, I just want to encourage people, if you have a great idea, no matter how big or how small, the biggest complaint, the biggest fear that people say is, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do.
You're right. Yeah.
They're just scared. They're so scared to do it. And you have to purge your body. You have to purge your mind. You have to condition yourself to not be fearful. You have to absolutely just take it for what it's worth, whatever your idea is. And if you're passionate about it and you believe it, just go for it and just start. Start anywhere. Start writing your ideas on paper. Start doing research. Start asking people. Start networking. Start talking. Get your idea out there. Everything will eventually fall into place. I can't say that I did everything right. I can't say that I did everything the most efficiently. But the bottom line is I did it and I wasn't afraid to do it. So, exactly. Don't be afraid of failing by any means, because if you're afraid to fail, then you've already failed.
Exactly.
If you haven't begun yet, so.
Totally true, man. Totally true. So, do you have any music online at all? That was totally the best conversation I just had with you, by the way. that part right there, which is the best part, man. Like, honestly, I think I just might use that as a tagline on the face of the magazine, dude, because that was incredible, man. But do you have any music or anything out now, or that we can actually listen to online, or?
I am the absolute worst.
Are you really?
I'm the worst person when it comes to uploading my sets or my music or anything like that.
I knew you were going to say that. You
Yeah.
did marketing at Jet, but you can't upload your own music.
Let me tell you this. I am working on. I actually just finished one mix. I'm actually putting out a double disc CD. It's called Winter Solstice and Summer Solstice. And if anybody knows anything about me and my background and my passion with astronomy, you'll see the connection in music. But one is a top 40 mix, and then the other one's all house.
Right on.
So I'm actually going to put that up on SoundCloud. I'll put that up on Facebook. It'll be available for download. I'm also, making CDs. So if you're in the area or if you want me to mail you a CD, I'll be able to put those up too. And then also, the Weekend Party Mix, my radio show on 91 Online, I have hundreds of hours of shows that I need to put up.
Get it up, man. People would love to hear that stuff. I knew there was a time that you could actually just go to the website and download it, dude. And I've got some of your mixes. I've got some of Divine's mixes. Divine, awesome DJ. But and I wish it used to have that stuff, dude. Get it out there so people can see it. Yeah, definitely. But what's your link to your Facebook? Your fan Facebook page? Is it just mattlindsey.com?
No, yeah, you can find me at facebook.com/DJ Matt Lindsey.
Okay.
Now, my personal radio show is facebook.com/The Weekend Party Mix. And then the 91 Online, you can just go to 91online.com, also facebook.com/91online. And then, of course, Twitter, twitter.com/DJ Matt Lindsey.
Right on. Definitely, man. Well, man, this was a very, very awesome interview with you, man. It was awesome to sit down and chat with you.
Bro. Seriously.
Definitely, man. Well, guys, if you want to stay connected and you want to stay informed and you want to stay local, only place to do it is Muve Magazine. I have to redo that again. Hold on. I'll read it out one more time. Stay informed, connected. Okay. If you want to stay local, you want to stay informed, and you want to stay connected, the only way to place to do it is Muve Magazine. I keep messing that up. I'm going to do it later on.